What up? What up? What up? What up, everybody? And welcome back to Just the Guys. We are classic men changing the world. This week we are studying law of. Well, we've been studying law of success for the past 5 weeks. We're now entering into the second quarter of the 16-week series, or on week 5. And this week was talking about leadership and initiative. Now, there were a lot of things that were talked about within this particular chapter, but the one thing that really stood out to me was this idea of cooperation. Now, with that in mind, I was taking a look at things that were happening over the week, and it was just like an interesting week to talk about this because, one, you saw the New York Knicks. They were down 29 and somehow came back to win it. Also, Trump and Iran still negotiating this deal. What happens when or when do you walk away from the opportunity to cooperate? And just on Friday, Elon Musk he increases his net worth by almost 200 billion to become the world's first trillionaire. So the big question here today is, can you cooperate? And are you willing to cooperate to achieve success for yourself? Again, welcome to Just the Guys. I am Logic, the host. And of course, we got our co-host here. What's up, Gimpy? Tell them what up.
What's up? What's up?
And we got the voice of reason. What you got going on, man?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
And, you know, of course, the hardest working man on the internet. You got CT, Chaotic Truth Live. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
Right on. And then, of course, the next lieutenant governor of the great state of Maryland, Soldiers of Finance, Commodore, what is it, Lieutenant Stone?
No, you can't be a Commodore and a lieutenant at the same time.
It's Commodore LT Stone.
Oh, LT Stone. So that is me.
I see your school didn't teach you punctuation either.
I mean, hey. Well, he didn't put, he put a period after the T, which there shouldn't be a period there.
Yeah,
there shouldn't be a period.
If his name is Lionel Thomas Stone.
No, you just put the
Oh
LT,
my
dude.
God, are we going? Is this how we're starting the show with an English lesson for the posters? Oh, I'm using abbreviations. Please use a period, grammatical mark.
Yeah, you got to use it right, man.
Each letter.
You might want to sue Baltimore City again, man. Because
hey, I didn't go to those schools, man.
You might want to sue them school systems.
I didn't go to the school stuff. All right, guys, the New York Knicks, man. So one thing. You know, I know as we've gotten older, as I've gotten older, I've kind of shied away from sports. But, you know, just kind of thinking about it this week, man, I think sports are one of the greatest teachers that we can have. Like the New York Knicks, they were down 29 points. When were they down, Gimpy? Because you went to bed, right?
End of the half.
At the end of the half, down 29 points. That's enough to break any team, man. But look, your goal is to win. You have an aim to win, and you don't break up, man. So Gimpy, how you feeling about that, man? Because I know you're a New York fan, man. What was going through your mind, bro?
I went to bed in despair. I woke up in ecstasy. That was the greatest comeback in the history of the NBA Finals. It had so many things. Again, it was all teamwork. If you watch that whole fourth quarter, that's all teamwork. The defense, the amount of turnovers they got, whatever, that was fantastic play. And as much as I hate Jalen Brunson, and I do hate him like I hate Tom Brady, doesn't make him any less the best Knick. If he wins this championship, it puts him up there as the greatest Knick of all time, possibly. You know, he has 3 games. He's the only Knick to have 3 final games with 30-plus points.
Wow.
In this run, dude, it's OG Evan, dude, this team, and it instantly, if he wins, it instantly makes Patrick Ewing the donkey. It instantly makes him the greatest letdown of all Knicks in all of history. Because until someone wins a championship, it's not. But once someone wins, and especially a guy like Brunson, oh wow, dude, that Villanova crew, bro.
Yeah,
they all played ball in Villanova together, so.
Yeah, man. So they play tonight. Today's Saturday, June 13th. And
8:30,
I think the
6
game is
5.
8:30 Eastern time tonight. So after the show, definitely check that out. But CT, man, you're a basketball fan, right?
I used to be.
You used to be.
Mm.
But did you
Yeah.
watch this game though, right?
I didn't watch all of it, but when the Knicks were down by 20 in the, I think, the second quarter or second half of the second quarter, I just left B-dubs and I said, forget this. I thought it was over.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised when Shauna actually woke me up and told me that the Knicks had won. They won.
So what do you think really went into them with this comeback though? I mean, like when you think about it, I mean, we write it off as sports. It's sports. But there's a lot of grit involved in my opinion, because it's all mental. But what do you think went into that for them to come back?
Grit, determination, a breakdown. Let's assume it's not Vegas, right? Let's assume it's not Vegas, right? Calling the shots. Let's assume this is real. There was some sort of breakdown, and a basketball team or a football team or any other sporting organization is sort of like a business or a corporation. And things could be running smooth on the floor. And then you ever worked in a factory or something, and things are just running smooth for a couple hours, and then something gets backed up somewhere down the line, and then it backs up the whole system, or there's a problem with the machine unit. Now you don't have the output that you need for that hour or two. Things like that happen. I think it happens in basketball. Something happened. Maybe there was some sort of fatigue with somebody. I don't know exactly. I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip and
real quick.
Go ahead.
Are you familiar with the flow state?
I mean, I've heard of it, I think, but not.
Jason Silva digs deep into this flow state, but it's like being in nirvana, being in like a God mode, being in like almost forgetting you're doing something. Mm-hmm. Maybe they just went into like a flow state. Maybe the Knicks went into a flow state.
Were they at home?
No, they were at home. Yeah, they were at MSG. Yeah.
So because you bring up that point, and I do think it's interesting because when we talk about the law of success, the first chapter is the mastermind, right?
Yeah.
Where there's this, when you have like this kind of unification of everybody being on the same page, right? Now, do you think there is an element of like the fans, the stadium, everybody's involved? Like,
yes, dude, I'm sorry, because none of you are going to say the right answer here, because there is literally a right answer for this one. Wu-Tang performed at halftime. New York Knicks ain't nothing to fuck with.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Right? Instead of Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with before they came back and won the game. Like, you want to talk about the energy, the fans, and it was the most American New York City comeback of the history of sports, that game. It's better than when Messier scored in 94 against the Devils to push the Rangers to the cup, where they called him Mark Messiah, right? Where he guaranteed the win. Yeah. So I'm just saying like that.
So Reason, man, what does that do to a person's, like, I guess, confidence or belief when you're down bad, bro? You down bad. What does that do to a person like moving forward, man?
Well, the issue I have is this. You're 100% right. First, Gimpy's from New York. I spent the majority of my life in Jersey, and I haven't seen the Knicks this far since, and it's probably been 25, maybe 30 years. It's that John Stockton. It's that Patrick Ewing and that group that got decimated year after year after year by Jordan and that squad. You know what I mean? So this is actually pretty significant for me, quite frankly. I haven't watched basketball in years. I was done with it as well. And randomly, my daughter turns on the game a few minutes into I was like, wait a minute. This is it's the Knicks. It is what it is. And to see them come back like that is absolutely magnificent. The problem that I have with it is usually with some major adrenaline rush, there's an adrenaline dump afterwards. And then after that, you end up coming in really, I mean, what are they up 3-1 now? Is that 3-1. See, I would take a look at these next two games because I think after a win like this, you're definitely going to have a major adrenaline dump and everyone's just going to seem off. I understand that there are ebbs and flows and all of.
All right, let's get that shit out of here.
He said he don't believe.
Knicks and 5, folks.
Get out of here.
Knicks and 5.
Hold on. All right, so give
So
Reese, I'm gonna let
I'll finish. There are ebbs and flows to this stuff. If anyone has seen any major something like that happen where they are like just going off and end up pulling out by the very skin of their teeth, to be down by that much at home in the beginning, that says something. That says something about you. To be that far down.
Well, it's not the first time they've been down, but let me play this clip because this is OG and Jalen, in the post game press conference.
OG, I think after that tip in, Cat gave you a huge hug. I mean, Josh right there just gave you a huge hug. He said you saved him a lifetime of regret. Just, what does it mean for you to, not just for yourself, but for your teammates to make such a big play like that?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, but that's for a team, like a brotherhood, you know? We have each other's backs. That's just how it goes sometimes. And, I mean, we would all do the same for each other.
What was going through your mind when you guys were down 29? And are you a vocal guy when you guys are down like that? Do you?
Really wasn't that much that to be said at that point. It was really just we need to chip away. Now we need to hit singles, get on base, and make plays from there. And I feel like we did that tonight, and we found a way to really just continue to do the things that have helped us get to this point. And it'll be huge for us to kind of build off that for next game.
I can't say Knicks and 5. I can't. No.
I mean, listen, man. Like, I mean, they're saying the right things, and from the from the outside looking in, man. I mean, most people will fall apart you being down that bad. I mean,
listen. Let me weigh in. Because y'all, this is why I don't watch pro sports today. I told y'all before, I've already seen it all. Okay, y'all are all giddy, and I get it, Gimpy. Gimpy, this hasn't happened since you were born, or before. Okay, so the reality of it is 1992, Game 6, Chicago Bulls coming into the fourth quarter down by, was it 14 or 15 points. Take care of it, go on to win the second consecutive championship. Okay, I've seen it all. So this, it's like being immortal, I guess, when you see something that the mortals get excited about. You're like, I get it. They're mere mortals. They're excited. But let me respond partially in a graphic sort of way. Okay, allow me to share my screen, if you would, please, Logic.
You don't have your screen up. Share it up.
I ask you to allow me first before I do it. So here we go.
So there's an element of this chapter called initiative. You should have just done it, and
You're
then
right.
Right, and hope for the best.
Right.
You're right about that. Here we go.
By the way, while he's doing this, you know that the Spurs tonight didn't let any out-of-state tickets be sold. If
but
you don't live within
they
150,
pushed back on that. They changed that. I just saw that. They pushed back on it. And
okay, because it was like 150 miles. You can't come.
All right, so can you see my screen? Can
yes, Jordan.
All right, so look, this is what I've lived through. This is what I've experienced. Okay, so listen, Gimp. It doesn't matter where I am, Gimpy. I'm happy for you. Okay, this is a once in a lifetime.
So we all lived through Jordan winning championships.
I'm so happy for you, but again, been there, done that, guys.
You know what we feel about that is when that second game came up and you were talking about that and you said they were down by this. Did you have any doubt? I mean, you knew Jordan was on the team. Did you have any doubt? And that's the thing. When Jordan was playing, down or not, I never had a doubt. I'm like, they have Jordan.
Listen here, youngster. Okay. What were you, 5 when this all happened?
No,
Okay,
no. I was 12, 92. I was 12.
There was always anticipation. You were watching. Back then, we had Greek gods, Bo Jackson, okay, Jerry Rice, Gretzky, all right, Jordan. That's why I can't get excited about any of this today.
Yeah, it doesn't
Dude,
matter.
I
Not a
agree
Knicks
so
fan.
much.
Hold on.
I
Honestly,
agree so much.
I don't
with you.
care
I
that you
do.
can't get excited. You're not a New Yorker. Your opinion doesn't matter here, sir. Knicks in 5, right? Like, let's stay over the target here. I'm the Knicks fan. Reason's the Knicks fan. Yes, we all watched Jordan play. We also all watched Reggie Miller score 21 points in 17 seconds against the Knicks to ruin Patrick Ewing's life. I'm just saying, like, till I see them win this 4th game, they may as well be a country mile away from the championship. I've been around long enough too, sir, but still, I hate Jalen Brunson because he ruins my generation of the Knicks. If he wins, he makes my generation of the Knicks the biggest jokes in the whole franchise history. So yeah, don't get it twisted.
So you said
30 points a game.
So you said soldiers that we don't have giants anymore. Is that? I mean, you saying Greek gods? Are you saying that doesn't exist, can't exist anymore?
You're
muted.
You're muted, sir.
And how do we identify that next generation of greatness?
I've taken the initiative. I'm sharing my screen.
Uh-oh, here it comes. I see it. I see it.
Go ahead, Reason. Put it up there.
I got you.
I mean, what's going on here?
Boom.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Oh, I love it.
So the Jordan LeBron debate, you going with Jordan?
Oh, please.
Oh, that's not even a debate.
Well, in all
even
fairness, that wasn't very, very uncontested dunk, like most of Jordan's dunks.
I was just demonstrating his. I was
just saying, you know,
how can you contest someone who flies?
I was merely demonstrated his low Earth orbital capabilities.
Well, it's still uncontested, you know.
Bro, Jordan was so.
How do you contest someone who flies?
Jordan was so Jordan. They created. He was probably the first that they made rules and named after. Like, he was so Jordan. They're like, you know what? Because of what's going on with the Pistons, we're going to have to create.
They did it for Clyde Frazier. They changed rules.
I think Jordan played against hot dog vendors and cab drivers. That's just me.
Are you kidding me, bro? Are you
and bad boys? John Starks used to be a bad boy, folks. So.
Yeah, Charles Oakley. I mean, they had some dogs, but you know what the problem is? They just didn't. I mean, Jordan just made people think differently. It's like Ed Reed. It's
Jordan
like them saying, "Hey, you know what? You got to look out for Ed Reed today." It's the same way with Jordan. Jordan was like, "Whoever you put on, it doesn't matter."
Could it be that Jordan was just the smartest one in the room? That makes any sense?
Well, he was able to cooperate.
Why do you hate Jordan so much?
I love Jordan. I grew up on Jordan. I just think that back in the day, I think that the NBA was very, very watered down.
You said back in the day,
Are
it was
you
watered down?
serious,
No.
bro? Hold on.
It just wasn't that good.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
Let me pull a Gimpy real quick. Get out of here, man. Let me pull a Gimpy. Get out of here. I can't believe you said some trash like that.
It was.
It's a completely different.
I don't see the romanticism with that era.
So are you saying the era now is
today.
better?
These are pansies.
I believe right now what we're seeing is the level of talent is just so good now that everybody plays like Jordan and up. It's just, yeah.
Do you think Jordan?
I mean, you literally.
Jordan in his prime is just an average player in this league?
No, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that I just think that Jordan was probably the best or one of the best players in that era, obviously. But I think that everybody now plays like, I mean, dude, you have 13, 14-year-olds doing tomahawk dunks from the free point. Free point.
That just means they're more
you
athletic.
Didn't have that back in the day, bro.
This is
you didn't have it.
This is kind of like when Moses went up to Mount Sinai and he left for a while, and the people lost faith. And what Chaotic is now doing, he's constructing a golden calf. He's dancing around naked around the golden calf because, you know, Jordan has not been around for a while. He is engaging in blasphemy. Okay.
The scrapping beauty, you are 100% right. Like, she put up people like Barkley. Do you know that they didn't have, back in the day, it was not, hey, let's grab 3 all-stars, put them all on the same team so we could win a championship. They didn't have stuff like that.
Yeah, because you didn't probably have enough people that were all-stars. See, that's what it is.
What are you, bro? Are you telling me in Jordan's days that they played defense? They played actual defense back then.
In all fairness, let me just answer this. I hear that argument all the time, right before I get chased out of barbershops. Oh, he didn't stack a team with superstars. That's because there were really no superstars back in the day. I mean, you literally had librarians playing in the NBA. I'm just saying, man, like even in the 90s, I look at highlights.
This guy, do you believe what
you're
saying?
Whoa. How many guys
I'm sorry, go ahead, Gimpy. Go ahead, Gimpy.
Can airwalk from the free throw line to the dunk?
You got 13, 14 rows in AAU can do that, Gimpy. I've seen highlights.
You also had that with the.
I've seen Dominique Wilkinson
do the whole tournament. That I'm talking about in the NBA. Stay focused, buddy. Stop ADDing out on us. How many guys in the NBA are airwalking their way to the basket basically every game? Because
you can watch a game on Tuesday and watch any given NBA game on a Tuesday and watch that in the regular season.
No one's dunking like that anymore because the rules don't allow. You
disagree.
can't hand check people. You can't. There is no post game anymore.
Even dribble. Hold on. These guys traveled compared to how they called it back in the 90s. All these guys who play today would get called for traveling, double dribble, and not palming the ball. What is it? I can't remember. Like taking the step. Not even the travel. The other one.
Chaotic, did you know there was a dream team?
I can't think of the name of
it. Do you remember the dream team?
How they let these guys move now and how they put the ball down. I'm sorry, dude.
No, CT, do you believe the game was more physical back
there
in the
we
day,
go,
though?
scrapping.
No,
there you go.
Don't.
You get it.
I don't.
I can't do this.
I think that what happens is during your growth, you misremember things, you know, you over exaggerate history. Hell, I do it. Oh man, I slept with 1,000 chicks. And some dude says CT is probably slept with about 20 in high school. Knock it off, buddy. The thing is that it's just as physical now. It really is. I mean, I don't see what you guys are talking about. Every highlight I see the shoving, I see the pushing, I see the smacking in the faces. I see it all the time in modern day basketball. I don't see it, man.
Those fouls weren't called back then, bro.
If Jordan isn't the GOAT, who's the GOAT?
I never said Jordan wasn't. I never said Jordan wasn't.
But you basically are saying that. You're saying that what he played back then is nowhere near as competitive.
I'm saying that Jordan, like many players back in that day, could play in any era. You know, Jordan could play in this era and be a superstar. But
like I have a hard time. You have to be more clear on this, right? Like
that was the starting team. You know what those next six were? This dude said they did not have.
Who did the Dream?
Those dudes were
they played the bobsled team in Jamaica. They played Mexico. Who did they play? I mean, my God, like you guys, dude. Listen, I get it.
So again, dude, then you have to hold on.
I can't talk.
No, but I want
let him finish, Gimpy. Let him finish.
I want an answer though. He's dancing around. Who is the GOAT? Who is the GOAT?
I believe I don't even like LeBron, but I think LeBron is the GOAT.
All right.
I believe LeBron is the GOAT.
Here's the point, guys.
Okay, so all right, whatever you say, man.
Good cooperation will lead the championship. I mean, I think LeBron was probably a good team player, at least when he won his couple. Jordan definitely, but let's look at these Knicks and see what they're going to do.
See what happens.
But again, this week when it comes to cooperation, I think that was just the perfect example of a team working together and that whole mastermind. Like, just you talked about getting in the zone, you know, the energy of the stadium, the fans, and then not letting your teammates down, right? Because it's easy to go rogue when you down 29, man. It's easy to take it off. take it easy. Hold on, first Gimpy and then UCT.
Oh no, I just was saying Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5. All right, CT, go ahead.
Okay, I don't want to, because I know we have other topics. It's just like when people say, "Yeah, man, Wilt Chamberlain's the greatest." Wilt Chamberlain played in the NBA when it was 8 teams and it was 6'4" white guys. I mean, of course he's gonna dominate. He's dunking over 6'4" white guys who are lumberjacks. It was 8 goddamn teams. I remember. I saw an interview with Wilt talking about how great his era was. I'm like, Wilt, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Who did you play against? You were a genetic freak for any lifespan of a human being. Bro, what are you talking about? Listen, this NBA is totally different. It's global. They're getting the best of the best from global places. And they have all the competition level is insane.
Yeah.
You didn't have all of this competition back then.
You think the competition's better? You think competition's more today?
Right now, it's insane, bro. Like
didn't Kobe put up 80 against that competition today?
But 80 is a part of this. I mean, Kobe's still a part of this era. He's still a part of this era technically. Rest in peace. He still played in the mid 2000s. So yeah, man, that's still a part of this era. But in my opinion, I think the NBA in the late 80s and early 90s expansion teams, it was just watered down. I'm sorry. I just want to call it like I see it.
All right, guys, we're talking about the law of success and leadership and initiative. And this week, we are in week 5 of law of success. And again, the theme this week, what really stood out to me was the idea of cooperation. Now, there has been a big, I guess, conversation going on between Trump and Iran. And I want to just kind of understand, at what point do we walk away from attempting to cooperate? But I want to play this first.
On that, you have said before that Iran and the United States were close to a deal. It has not happened yet. Why are you so convinced that this time is different?
Because they've taken a pounding. I really believe it's a regime change because I find these people to be much more rational than the people that are no longer with us. We knocked out the first team of leadership, the second team of leadership. This is a different group. This is a different level, and I think it's frankly a smarter level, and it's a level that has reason. And they've all approved the deal. Everybody's approved the deal. Now we'll get it finished up, and hopefully that'll be done.
No, so soldiers, I want to go to you first, man. Because a good leader, I mean, you've been around a while. But a good leader knows when to, keep trying and when to walk away. Is Trump showing signs of good leadership in continuing to cooperate or work something out with Iran?
I think yes. However, there's no need for us to get these constant updates. Because for the past few months, there's a peace deal. Oh, no, it's off again. Oh, here's a peace deal. Oh, they're blocking the strait again. So it's like, every time that happens, it erodes trust in the process. So, let it hang out there, see what happens, and, give us the goods when you guys are about to sign the paperwork,
Now, are you faulting Trump for that, or because he's one of the, he's a president that is always in front of the media and they're always asking questions, and it seems like Iranian leaders are feeding stations like CNN and others information, and they're reporting on this. So I guess as a leader, what is Trump supposed to do in those particular situations?
Just continue to say we're working on the process toward a ceasefire and peace. With Iran, not saying that anything is imminent, okay? Because again, every time you do that, it's like the boy who cried peace. In this case, it erodes faith in the system. It emboldens the Iranian regime, okay? So Americans, I think, this has not been going on that long when you compare it to other military conflicts that we've been in. All right. So when it happens, it happens. I don't need to keep hearing the constant updates about it.
Yeah, Gimpy, at what point does a good leader walk away?
When it's a bad deal. Trump can't walk away from this. He started it. So if he walks away, he looks weak. That's the problem. He has to finish what he started, and he's stuck because he's trying not to finish it. He's trying to wrap it up with some words on a piece of paper. Halfway done. Again, if you remember, when this whole thing started, I told you, give me 6 months to give you my opinion on it because I didn't think it was necessarily a good thing, even though I wanted it to happen. So look at the total clusterfuck. He's never getting out of there, man. There's no deal coming. Dude, this is Iran you're talking about. As he's saying there's a deal coming, guarantee you Iranian state media is saying that they got everything they wanted under the sun and Trump bent the knee. You think there's really a deal coming? There's words on a paper, they'll sign it, and shit'll go back to whatever the new norm for Iran is as it continues to do whatever Iran has in its interest to do, man. That's how it is. It's how it's always been. It's how it always will be. I'm sorry, like this is so like he should have walked away a long time ago and turned the whole country to glass so that he would finish what he started. Again, that's a terrible thing and everything, but he literally picked a fight, man. Right? He went in there, he picked a fight, and you're saying when should he have walked away? When he shouldn't have picked a fight that he wasn't willing to see all the way through to the end. Especially with a country where the whole thing is that you can't trust them. Like his whole premise is that you can't trust them to have a nuclear weapon, trust them to let inspectors in, trust them to tell you the truth. But now all of a sudden, because this is the third or the fourth guy they have down the food chain, because they killed a bunch of them, we're going to trust this guy. He's still Iranian. He's still a Shia fundamentalist. None of these guys are like moderates looking for democracy. They're not looking to change Iran. They're looking to get out from under this. I mean, I think Trump seriously underestimates what's like because his ego's in the way here. There's a huge mistake for Trump, man. Like this is what I was saying from the very beginning. This is the shit that's going to sink Trump. He either has to do something decisive and get the win or figure out how to walk away without ruining his entire legacy over it. This is his Afghanistan withdrawal.
So I want to, I want anybody that can answer this. What do you think Iran's goals are versus America's goals, and can they is there a way for cooperation to happen?
Well, Iran wants to continue the type of regime that they've operated for the past 50 years. And they also want a nuclear weapon. They want to join that club. That's what they want. Like Gimpy said, we went over, and Colin Powell used to say, you break it, you buy it, in terms of military action and your obligations after you've initiated military action. So I do think Trump is trying to wrap it up, but I think he has a lot of incentive because oil prices are impacting the economy. Mm-hmm. And we're heading into the midterms, and that could seriously affect that. Now his saving grace is that the Democrats don't have any kind of message other than, hate this group, hate that group. That's who they are today. Black people can't be represented by anyone other than black people, congressionally, or apparently in a court of law either. So there's that piece. I think a lot of Americans are looking at the Democrats and saying this group is a joke. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I do think Trump's trying to get out of this to get oil prices under control. So not just gasoline, but everything at Walmart also that's delivered by a truck running diesel inflation can abate a little bit.
Well, CT, have you been following this, man?
No, and I'm gonna tell you, no, but there's a reason why. Do you want to know that reason?
Yeah, go ahead.
I stopped caring. And what I mean is I stopped caring because at the end of the day, everything is about money.
Yeah.
Iran needs to get down and lay down with the New World Order. you know, the regime, you know, it's the regime making the people, the population of the people wealthy. That's what I want to know. I would love for Iran to be a vacation hub one day. Hell, it might be a vacation, but I don't know. I've never been.
It used to be in the 50s.
It used to be before the
Yeah.
Ayatollah, before the Iranian Revolution. But I'm just to the point now. Everybody needs to get down or lay down with America, with the West, with capitalism, with greed. Nobody cares about these hyper theocracies anymore. It's old. It's boring. Who cares? You know, and you know, I really believe that America or Trump should do whatever he needs to do to get capitalism within the country. So whatever deal he's working out, fine. I didn't really go over the details with it, but you know, hopefully it leads to change eventually. And what I mean change is Western change.
Yeah. Now, do you believe it's a sign of good leadership to continue to try to negotiate, or is this a sign of weak leadership in attempting to cooperate with people that don't want to cooperate with you?
No, it's always good leadership to continue to try to get what you want. Even if it takes another president, another administration, 50 more years. We can't continue to live with these people around us, man. Like these governments, these theocracies that halt freedom and rights and you know, and it's a lot of money to be made over there in Iran. It's a lot of money to be made in many parts of the planet. And, you know, that's the new world order. That's the, you know, we have to, you know, in my opinion, right? So I stopped reading everything. I'm so tired of reading everything. Don't really know, because I'm not really at the White House. I don't know what goes on at the Department of Defense, the Pentagon. I don't know really. You know, all I do is I just read stuff, and I'm just tired of it.
Now, one thing that Iran did prove, to your point, one thing they have proven is that they will attack unprovoked. Remember, all of the countries surrounding them that weren't involved, that they started attacking. So they kind of proved that they don't need a nuclear weapon. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they launched the missile toward Diego Garcia, and that surprised everybody because the range on that thing was a hell of a lot longer than most people. Maybe someone in the U.S. intelligence or military, maybe they knew they had that capability, but London is acting like they didn't know. And if you look at the radius that they prove they have the capability to strike the West, okay, Western Europe. Yeah. So, you know, he's saying he's dealing with a new group of folks here, but they're part of the theocracy, and they have an ideology, and I think they're going to adhere to it at the end of the day.
Reason, I want you to chime in here, man. What is this a sign of good leadership, what Trump is doing, or like, is there a point where you no longer attempt to cooperate with people who don't want to cooperate with you?
You see, the issue I have is that I'm looking at it through my lens. I'm not a president, and my whole thing is, you eventually get to a point in which, when you come to the realization that people aren't willing to work with you, then sometimes you have to jump ship. Like, sometimes you get to a point in which you're doing so much and you're cooperating, and you're under the presupposition that, you know what, you're going to get something in return on this offer, that you just say, you know what, I can't do this, and then you step back. However, in cases like me, I don't have the power to have a nuclear strike and then end up, leading by so much fear and force that, you know what, people eventually start to come around. And I'm not saying Trump is doing that either, but what I'm saying is that, you know what, he has a reputation. He's got patterns in his past that people can look back upon and say, you know what, okay, this is, and also I believe that, Bling is right. You do have to, a sign of good leadership is when you're thinking of the people. What in the world can you do to help the people that you ultimately work for. And if you sit here and you cut off everything because you think the people that you're working with aren't going to work with you, then, and you end up ultimately hurting the people that you serve, that's not a sign of good leadership.
So, Reason, if you're talking to your younger self, right? How how would you tell your younger self to identify a good or bad leader based on a situation like this?
Well, you see, and that's the key word, based on a situation like this. I don't think I would be able to, or my younger self would ever up close and personally see a situation like this. But on a smaller scale, I would tell them that, look, you know what? Don't be taken advantage of. You know what I mean? Because I know me personally now, and this is kind of what was rooted out of me as a child. This is the core of me. I have a helpful spirit. I'm the guy that will, if I see somebody that's asking for change, I give them what's in my pocket. You know what I mean? And that's for people that aren't working with me. Then there are people who are working with me, and I try and I try and I try. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to get this done. We're going to get this done. We're going to sit here. We're going to get this right. Sir, young man, okay? There are people who will take advantage of you. They will see your kindness for weakness. And if you do not see, there's eventually a point in life in which the strong man that's doing for everyone will come to the realization that, you know what, this is not working, and step back and walk away. It's okay to give. It's okay to do forward, but don't be taken advantage of. Have that foresight to understand that, you know what, what's happening to you is people see that you are willing to do, and they'll take advantage of that. Be able to recognize that.
So LJ put in the chat here about Trump. He believes in the best of people. Sometimes it's a weakness. So yeah, and, you know, to your point, it's sometimes that can be, you know, taken advantage of. And I think LJ is right here too. The only thing stopping Trump is are the innocent Iranians. Yeah, I mean, to Gippy's point, like Trump probably could have just, you know, wiped the country off.
From what exactly?
From wiping off the
he was never putting boots on the ground. It's not I'm not arguing that the innocent Iranians aren't an issue. I'm just saying that he was never there's
you
no
could just blow up the whole country, right?
Or it's not, let's snatch the Ayatollah and then the next people there are so scared they're going to deal with us, Venezuela. It's not Monroe Doctrine shit. They know that they have people who are willing to fight to the last man.
Yeah.
They're fundamentalists. The entirety of how many million IRGC guys are there? What, like 1, 2, like he has 800,000 active sold military. Every last one of those guys will fight to the last man. And even if they don't fight to the last man, they'll go and they'll start to fight somewhere else once they get free. Yeah. So
and I think that we got caught up in that kind of a Middle Eastern quagmire again, with not recognizing that their philosophy is such that, you know, they
don't care.
Right. They're not
no power, no water, no food, no goats to fuck. You name it, you take it away from them, they will live without it. I'm just saying, their whole fun, the more they have to sacrifice, the holier they feel in what they're doing. Every burden that you lay onto a fundamentalist in the name of your war with them makes them stronger. That's how their mindset works, man.
The other thing that, again, I'm not sitting at CIA headquarters, so maybe they knew this, but I sure didn't. It seems like their bench was a hell of a lot deeper than, you know,
what people know.
Dude, they're like 1,000 mullahs. You have to kill 1,000 dudes not to instantly have a new Ayatollah. You know what I'm saying?
By this point, if you flip it over into our system, right? With all this, we'd be down to the Secretary of Agriculture by now.
No, dude, no. We would be to the Undersecretary of Transportation, who was in charge of water filtration, to what we did to them. Between what Israel did the first time, 10 months ago or 12 months before it, in that sneak attack thing they did, and then this, dude, they took out the entire Air Force leadership in one strike.
Yeah.
All of it, the entire top ranks.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And this had been talked about a lot back before even Trump's first term. The fact that Iran, from a geographic standpoint, was a tough nut to crack, just based on geography, not even getting into, the philosophy of their leaders. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is not Venezuela, obviously.
Yeah. But speaking of people who can't get along, I was checking out CT's show this week, and I thought an interesting point came up. Are you guys familiar with the story of the pencil, Milton Friedman?
Yes.
So, it's mentioned in Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, of course, is the kind of Cliff Notes version of Law of Success. But the whole story of the pencil is just how much skill and cooperation it takes to produce a simple pencil. Now, CT was talking about that with a hot sauce packet on his show, like what level of skill it takes and cooperation really to develop this. But he also brought up another question. I'm gonna play it real quick.
What I'm saying is that if there is a collapse in a workforce or people, how would you maintain and operate these things after a certain group of people are no longer here that have traditionally carried on these systems?
So my question is, are certain groups of people more adept at cooperation than others? Why or why not? So CT, I'm gonna get you to chime in first, since it was your clip, but go ahead, man.
Okay. I'm not gonna take up all the time. Mediterranean Shipping Company. It's based out of Switzerland. They own 1,000 ships. Their market share is 21.6%. Maersk, they are out of Denmark. They have 735 ships. Their market share in global shipping is 13.7%. Okay, you following me?
Mm-hmm.
CGM, which stands for I don't speak French, so please bear with me. But Compagnie, I'm not even going to read it all. I'm just going to say it. CGM, they're out of France. They own 723 ships. Their market share is 12.6%. Costco Shipping Lanes, they are out of China. They own 554 ships, 10.6% of global trade. And then number 5, Hapag and Lloyd. Now, I'm probably saying Hapag wrong, but they are based out of Germany. 291 ships. They represent 7.1% of market share. How many of those companies, Giovanni? How many of those shipping companies were European? Out of the 5.
Huh?
Out of the 5.
They all sound European.
4.
4.
It was one China.
Oh,
One
one.
was
Okay,
China.
Yeah.
What would happen if now I could go through all the 30, but I don't want to waste time, right? I don't want to take up all the time. I'll go through all the 30. But out of that 5, it was 4 Europeans. Those are the top 5. 4 European companies and 1 Chinese company. We were having a discussion the other day about cooperation and what would happen, particularly if certain groups were to disappear off the planet. Just based off of that 5 right there, what would happen if European people disappeared from the face of the earth? Well, we have shipping and logistics. Well, we have shipping, global shipping. Just based off of what I just showed you with just that 5.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the elements of the conversation that was important, because there are people who work in the industry but don't understand how the industry works.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And unless you're able to see this piece here, see this piece there, see this piece there, to put them together in a form of some form of cooperation, it won't work. Right. So my thought on this particular conversation is that, like, are certain people less prone to cooperate?
Exactly. I would argue yes. Look at this hot sauce packet. And the reason why I keep using this damn packet is because it's been on the table, my desk, for quite some time because I went to go get some Japanese. Look at this hot sauce packet. This hot sauce packet says WY Industries Incorporated. Now, this company is based out of New Jersey, North Bergen, New Jersey. I never heard of it. www.wyindustries.com. Hot sauce. How is this made? I have no idea. But I'm willing to bet they get the packet from somewhere else. I'm willing to bet that wherever they get the packet from, they don't put the packet together. There's some sort of chemical process to put it together somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Where did they get the chemicals from? Well, obviously that came from somewhere too. I don't think a lot of people understand supply chain. And I don't think just with supply chain, the intricacies of how it works, I don't think people truly can grasp what would happen if certain groups or ethnic groups weren't here. Some groups of people are better at supply chain. Some people can cooperate and speak to other people and get the dots all connected. Reggie White, Giovanni, are you familiar with him?
Yeah, the defensive end for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, he got a lot of controversy in the 90s, man. He said white are better at compartmentalizing than other groups of people. And he got a lot of backlash for that. He said that they're just better at it. Why are they better at it? I have no idea. I mean, I guess it comes from, you could argue it probably comes from their lineage. You know, the Romans obviously had to compartmentalize when they were expanding their empire. They needed resources. These resources needed to be gathered. They needed to be sent out to different outposts. So maybe these things come with culture, and over time they evolve. They got better over time. So maybe some groups of people are just good at it. And this is why I say to people, man, these are truths to a degree. And if you don't want to accept it, that's fine. If you want to be mad, that's fine too. But the real world works on measurables, and shipping and logistics is an actual measurable. There's other measurables. Why are Jews better at centralized banking or ordered banking? Maybe it's something in their history that taught them how to do it over and over and over. And it might even just come genetically to them at this point. So it's just some things that some people are just better at. They can come together and there is some sort of output from it. So I agree with that. But go ahead.
Yeah. So Reason, I want to get you in here, man, real quick. Are certain groups of people more adept at cooperation?
I would say yes. Certain groups of people are a lot more adept at just about everything because of specifically what CT said. I believe it's a cultural thing. I believe if you have a culture of doing something over a long period of time, it becomes more ingrained into you. It's passed down over time. And also over time, just like the NBA back in the 80s is different than it is now, it gradually gets better. Things change. We 30 years ago had a PCs that filled this entire room that we're in now that can, fit inside this, and do the exact same thing. So yeah, I believe that it is culture that if we do not have a group of people that have not been taught to, cooperate over time, then it's that they would just be, by the numbers of how it's set up, they'd just be terrible at it. They would. And that wouldn't be just cooperating. That would be anything.
Have you guys anybody ever been to London?
No.
UK, or just UK in general.
Yeah.
But one thing funny about the British is that they love to stand in line. The queue. Like, to me, this is one of those signs of just pure cooperation. I'm not gonna stand in front of that guy. I'm not gonna cut in line. Now, granted, I know some people do it, but can you imagine going in Baltimore City or Cleveland? Would you ever see a line like this in Baltimore?
And what are they waiting on?
Yeah, what are they waiting on?
It's whatever. They just
You can't say it's whatever. I've seen in Baltimore City, there's a place called Water for Chocolate. It has
Dude, every time a new
like,
game dropped, you
you
can
know,
see a line
and there's a line around the corner.
No.
New Jordans drop. There's a
right,
line.
so
Yeah, dude,
That's
the
not
New
a sport.
Jordan
This is
in Baltimore. You'll have a line like that around the block. Stop.
and you'll have 3
This is too
fights
much
for
credit.
somebody trying to get in.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right, and that's
And you
the
have at least
cultural
3 or 4
aspect of it.
fights.
That's you're right. And that's the cultural aspect of it. These people are standing here waiting in queue, so to speak, because that's what they've been taught over time. This is what they see every single day. They're used to just being around each other with being quiet and just patiently waiting. That's not what happens in Baltimore City. It doesn't work like that. People are loud, people are ignorant, people are arrogant, and them being in one specific place for a long period of time, for some reason, just brings out this rage and stupidity in people. So, I mean, yes, those are 2 completely different cultures.
Look, y'all remember Best Buy on Black Fridays? Come on, you'll stand in line until the doors open.
Greed. You're adding greed into that mix. I'm sorry, no, but you can go and then yes, we all know the horror stories, but then there are times like I've been there myself where a game dropped and you're there at the midnight release or some shit. And
Where were you at though?
I don't know, Bethesda or some shit.
Oh,
like,
yeah, you were in Bethesda.
It's Bethesda.
Still,
Rockville.
you were trying to make it like it's a British thing. Dude.
It is a British thing.
My point is
there's a lot of Europeans in Bethesda.
You can't give it. There were plenty of non-white people in line behaving perfectly fine. Like, this is the problem.
Because one thing that you're neglecting is this is also the same place where hooliganism, soccer hooliganism comes.
Yeah, like thank you. Like if Manchester United wins, they'll tear down what they're gonna do if the Knicks win tonight to New York City. I mean that but again, so my buddy has a great thing, and it's so true for this moment, is like it's not about race, it's not about creed, it's not about gender, it's not about any of that bullshit. It's about poor and well-behaved people. That's it. If you have groups of poor behaved people, generally going to give you the worst shit that you're going to get. And it goes with socioeconomics is the factor. The farther down the socioeconomic food chain you are, the higher rate of poor behavior that exists. It doesn't mean that that you can't be well behaved and poor. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you want something to divide the metric by, it's wealth. It's not race. It's because the more money and the more wealth people have, the more they want order, the more they want cleanliness, the more they want, because they have things to lose. When you have nothing to lose, disorder is easy. So I'm sorry, man. It's not about where you're from in that sense that you're saying like the British have some monopoly on waiting in line. You can go find places where there's a lot of wealth and people will wait in line. And like the future lieutenant governor said, these same places where you just showed that they stood there in line, they will literally tear the city down because a soccer team lost.
Now, do you believe that certain groups are more or adept at cooperating than others?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
I mean, I don't believe it. History teaches us it. That's how I look at that.
Okay.
Like,
what groups are more cooperative and which groups
Europeans.
are less?
Europeans, hands down.
Without a doubt. History shows it. Like, I'm not measuring it based on anything than metric. And you can go and look. You can also say Middle Eastern has it, because at certain times in history, Middle Eastern society peaked in cooperation and were empires. But you have to look at wherever empires were as peak cooperation. So
I would then give that to, what are we doing? The most cooperative? Yeah, I would give it to
Europeans currently hold.
What about the Chinese? I mean,
I was going to say I'll give it to East
okay.
Asians.
I mean, that's fair to say too.
I'll give it to East Asians actually, because
okay.
Yeah,
theirs is more of the forced variety, but go ahead.
Well,
it doesn't matter. You just said cooperation.
Yeah, yeah. I give it to them because they have built their civilizations go back, a long way. And it was just that they were, especially in the case of Japan, so xenophobic and closed as a society. It wasn't until later on that people were actually allowed in there to experience what they were doing.
Yeah. All right. So you guys do agree that there are certain groups of people that are able to cooperate.
Without a doubt.
Who are the worst version, or who are the worst people to attempt to cooperate with?
I mean,
I'm not saying that.
if you look at it from just metrics, and if you look at it from actual measurable data,
That doesn't matter.
it
I
has
still
to be
can't.
Africans. It has to be African groups. I mean,
And what makes you say that? What makes you say that, CT?
because you could just look at measurables. I mean, there are actual real measurables. I mean, shipping and logistics is a measurable. The shipping and logistic industry is highly based on cooperation. And give me the name of a Maersk, the equivalent of a Maersk by any African country. Same thing with any other, like manufacturing. Do any Africans manufacture weapons? Do any Africans manufacture? Now you're getting the Nigerians who are making a car, but generally speaking, when have we ever made a car? When have we ever made an airplane? So there are actual, and you could look at it from the perspective of just being bigoted or prejudiced, but there's have we made WMDs? Because these things take thousands of people to do. Like I think the atomic bomb. I think there were so many layers and compartmentalization. Richard Feynman, who's an astrophysicist, he's dead. He said he was working on the Manhattan Project. He didn't really know what he was doing, but he was such a part of an intricate network that he said that he kind of regrets doing it. He regretted doing it, but he was a part of the atomic bomb and didn't even know about it. But that was, a cooperation.
Yeah.
Abstract.
Well, yeah.
Abstractly speaking, I would think both sides with the bell curve. I think whoever that is. So it's the extremely, extremely poor people. They're terrible at cooperation. And it's the extremely, extremely rich people. They're terrible at cooperation. The poor people are terrible at cooperation because they just, are trying to, it's all crab in the barrel stuff there. I'm just trying to make it. I think the rich people are terrible at cooperation because they're the ones that are like, you need to do this. We're going to do this. And I don't care what you think about it. This is how we're going to do it. I mean, they're not thinking about, let me need to. Yes, exactly. So it's like the ones who are on top aren't cooperating with anybody. They're making this decision and they're saying, find a way to do it. Steve Jobs, I heard about him, and like the guy was just, how do you get to that point where you're Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or the president of Amazon, the CEO of Amazon? How do you get to that level without being just an extreme A-type personality in which you're just like, here's what we're going to do. If you don't like it, leave. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Go ahead, CT. Go ahead, CT.
So yeah.
Giovanni, are you familiar of the marathon story?
No.
Now, I don't know whether this story is fake or not, or fictional or not, but Tyrone, are you familiar with the marathon story? For some reason, I feel like you're familiar with this story.
I am. Are you talking about the one where he died at the end?
There were city-states in Greece, and there was an invading, I can't remember the exact story, but basically there was an invading army, and this city-state sent an individual to run to give the message that there was an invading army that had plans on invading the other city, and the other city was 23 or 26.2 miles away, which is a marathon that that's where we get a marathon from. So he was tasked with running 23 miles or 26 miles to give a message to this other city, and he gave the message and died. Now, I don't know whether this is a true story or not, right? It seems,
and the city was Marathon.
I think the city was Marathon. I can't remember exactly right, but what I'm saying is, if you think about that story, right, this guy, he could have cowered out and just said, hey, forget all that shit, man. But it's something special about that story, man. He was so dedicated to give this one message to this other city. And I think it saved the city marathon, right? But I think it's something in certain people's cultures, whether it's through story or through real events, that makes them cooperate with one another. Like there's a dedication to a task or something. You know, like you can't fail that task. And if you fail the task, it's like you're failing the civilization or something over. That's what I got from that. It's one of my favorite stories. I got to look at the story again, but it was a story that I read a long 20 years ago. But it's something. Well, I was gonna say this real quick, Giovanni. This water bottle. Think about how intricate it was just to make this water bottle and this cap.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, if you really sit back and think about it, there's a lot of cooperation in it. And so, you know, when you have individuals who are not cooperating, you will get so many arguments. I want the bottle cap to be this big, motherfucker. It's too much. I think certain people have figured it out. You know, they figured out how high a plane should fly, how high a plane should fly over a city, why are the roads so, why is the measurement of roads the same? Why is the curb so high off a sidewalk? That's cooperation, man.
Yeah.
And if
hold on. Let him finish the point.
Oh, my bad.
And you see a lot of this in advanced societies, right? You know, you see it. That line is always the same width. But if you look at places like India, Africa, there's always this disruption in that. And there's something about why won't these people cooperate with each other? Why is everything I'm gonna build my house a certain height? Well, you know that there's people who are not that tall. I'm gonna do what I want to do. But I feel like in the West they figured it out. Well, you know, the average height is about 5'10". So let's make most homes, generally speaking, the roof would be 8 feet tall and over. Imagine somebody saying, I want to make the roof, I want to make the ceiling 6 foot. Imagine and arguing with this logic. Like, well, you know, most people are 5'10". That wouldn't be there's so many factors here. Yeah. And so I think there's something in that cooperation that came from somewhere. To land my plane. Are you familiar with guild logic? I think you were in the chat when I was talking about guilds.
Yeah.
Look at what happened when guilds ceased to exist in Europe. Look at these now mind you, I got an abstract thing behind me, but look at all this abstract bullshit. But guilds codified a system of art. Like, okay, when you do your art, make sure you do this, that, and you have, I don't know what they said, but if you look at Renaissance art, it's beautiful because they had guilds. The guilds you would be commissioned by the guild because the guild knew that they can trust you to make a certain art piece for the king or whoever it was. But when guilds went away, look at this ugly abstract bullshit we get now. Oh, this is abstract art. It's a goddamn eye and just some dot. It's bullshit. It's all
painted bullshit with their toe.
Huh?
They painted it with their toe.
Yeah, like they painted it with their yeah.
Reason, yeah. So
if I may, I always say the United States, the world is the United States. The United States is not the world. LJ said, in situations without visible inequality, the poor are more likely to share their wealth, share their wealth as they stand to gain significantly from collective contributions. I'm just thinking, is that here?
Where is that happening?
Because I never see that happen with the poor in the United States. That's got to be when people are poor in the United States. They're not thinking, you know what? Look,
no, because again, the conditions aren't met to achieve that statement that she's bringing up. Look, I'm saying that exists. Like if you go to places like when the Soviet Union existed, the poor people there, plenty of non-cooperation, but also plenty of cooperation. Because when you're left with scarcity, there's no scarcity. That's the problem. Here, there is always choice. People forget how good the poorest of us have, because even if you live on the street here, there are choices. There's a shelter, there's a soup kitchen. There are safety nets from society in place. Go to a third world or a second world country, there aren't those safety nets there, right? Just because they have healthcare for everybody. Yeah, you can go stand in the hospital line all day for 36 hours straight to get seen for a paper cut or whatever, sure. But there's no extra food. There are no bread line, right? Like you're standing in a bread line to get bread in those places. There's not a soup kitchen for you. There's a soup kitchen for everybody. I mean, like, that's what creates those moments where the poor come together, because I hear it all the time. The stories about how, like, what it was to socialize in the Soviet Union is everybody got together, everybody cooked the dish and came to someone's house and you had a dinner party or something, right? Like, people didn't go out and party the way we think of it. And as a result, like that's the condition being met, where all these people are collectively equally poor with limited choices and equal scarcity. So yeah, it benefits us if we all come together and share. We all make out better. But as soon as there isn't scarcity and each person can have to their own, you're not going to be able to create that cooperation. I'm sorry, like that's what undoes the cooperation, and that's for that statement. That's why it doesn't exist here in the West, because in the West there isn't a scarcity. Take it to places that have scarcity, and you'll have the poor cooperating. It's here, they still don't have to feel poor.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. So is there a like cooperation versus compromise? If you're talking to your younger self, like, how do you balance those two? Like, what advice would you give a younger you, right, when you're thinking about, do I cooperate in this situation, or or am I compromising in this situation? Like, how do you what would you tell your younger self on how to differentiate the two?
All right, let me say this. So a lot of what we're talking about is what are we cooperating with?
Mm-hmm.
We're cooperating with systems that have been proven to work in society, as Chaotic was alluding to. One thing that I actually have one sticking point with something that Chaotic said, and it leads into another part of this conversation where he was talking about the shipping companies. One of the reasons Africa doesn't have any shipping companies can be said to be the environment of the continent itself, which has no harbors to speak of, okay, that can handle, for the most part, what we see in the port of Baltimore, for example, okay? Africa has a real lack of navigable rivers. Some of them are deep enough, but they end in falls, okay? So you don't have a Mississippi. You got the Nile, but that doesn't bisect the continent in the way the Mississippi does. So there is an environmental aspect to this, okay? And the other thing is, necessity is the mother of invention. So if you got, let's say, someone up in what is now Russia, winter is coming. If you want to survive, then you're going to have to start learning how to build some serious shelters, okay? You're going to have to figure out how to store food, how to grow it within a particular time frame, harvest it, how to keep these animals alive throughout the winter. If you go back and look at early Europe, as they were figuring this stuff out, life was extremely tough, okay? Now, again, necessity is the mother of invention. So you go into sub-Saharan Africa, which is food-wise like a Garden of Eden, okay? It's just there, right? Your cattle can graze 12 months out of the year, all right? Life is easier in terms of sheer survival. You don't have to, the elements don't come into play as much as they do in Europe and parts of Asia, and even North America. I honestly believe that is part of the reason why certain cultures did not advance technologically the way certain others did, because there was no necessity, or there was a lack of necessity behind it, and compounded over centuries, that can be deleterious.
But let me ask you this real quick. You bring up something good. I'm looking up this, right? The the interstate highway system.
Okay. Eisenhower.
47,000 miles of highways spanning all across the United States. The Transcontinental Railroad system, right? The Hoover Dam, the Panama Canal, Golden Gate Bridge, the New York subway station.
Mm-hmm.
What on earth is stopping the African from terraforming environment to overcome those environmental obstacles just for cargo movement, assuming if that's the case, right?
Let me try to answer. I think one of the things, we look at America and we pushed out west and we started developing all of these Hoover Dam, all of these big projects, right? Going into space, all of this stuff. But we have the luxury and we are blessed to own damn near all of the continent. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you cut through from the East Coast, building railroads out to California, they're operating on manifest destiny, and it's one nation, and the army will back you up if you get into a tight spot and things. There was infrastructure on top of infrastructure that pushed out and developed that. You can't do that in Africa because, you go too many miles and you're in another country.
Yeah.
You're in another tribe. And,
that is true.
You could say that the problem is that all those things you said were created under a single unified vision.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone said it, manifest destiny.
Mm-hmm.
The people who built all those things you said believed it was their God-given right to do exactly that. The problem is that in Africa, you have zero cooperation. Because even within country borders, you have independent entity, like, autonomous zones. And
yeah,
dude,
true.
I'm sorry. Until you can get it that one government can handle coast to coast, you can't have a coast to coast highway. If you can't have a north-south waterway if it runs through 5 nations that don't get along.
That's right.
You can't have any of that if you can't have cooperation. That's why I thought it was funny you were asking that, and like you were setting it up for the word. Like, you have to have cooperation, and the problem in Africa is no one cooperates. Everybody's vying to sit at the top chair, and no one's willing to be number 2. In America, lots of people are willing to be number 2 because there's money in it.
And
right, like can I just let me land my point? Mm-hmm. We replaced this binary power structure that existed for a very long time in capitalism with wealth by creating this replacement called wealth. Okay, so you're not the most important person in your tribe, but you know what? You have this huge sack of money. Beautiful women want to take it from you, and therefore you have a good life and shit. Like
simple 48 laws of power.
So
right, we created that, and they don't have that in Africa. They don't have that level of cooperation. They won't replace wealth to replace being the number one. Everybody still wants to be number one over there.
And let's and I'm not being an apologist here, but they are facts. There are historical facts out there. One of them is the impact of colonialism, which brought warring people who had conflicts for centuries, brought them into close proximity, put them together under the same nation. The Hutus and the Tutsis are a prime example of that. So all of these continents have their unique little idiosyncrasies. And look at Russia, okay? A lot of resources. Napoleon found out. The guy with the mustache found out, okay? Because they got nature on their side. When Napoleon came, the Russians just left. They just left Moscow and let winter take care of the French, okay? So they're up there, and they're finding it across this wide swath of land. Here comes Ivan the Terrible, and literally forces this thing to get together and gel, and we are Rus now, and we're gonna do our thing. So you had homogeneity of religion to a large point, leadership, and culture across that wide swath of land. And in Africa, you don't have that.
But it goes to I mean, I think it goes back to the point though. Like, you have to have some chief aim. You have to have something that brings you together. Some element of teamwork in the case of the Knicks in order to achieve something, right? I mean, earlier, Soldier Jew was kind of making the point that navigable waters, the terrain, and all that stuff. I mean, the U.S. has its challenges as a country, right? I mean, it's not all flat. It's not all, you got mountains. I mean, even if you go to Western Maryland, you got to build different than you do here in Baltimore. Baltimore was marshes. Western Maryland is all mountains.
But if you go to Western, that's a good example because they blasted through a mountain, right up in Rocky Gap. They blasted through a mountain, one of the smoothest highways you'll ever drive on.
Yeah, man.
Okay, and then this book, Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith, he talked about the unique geographic position, and not just geography, but climate as well. The United States is like set up perfectly for the situation that we find ourselves in from a geographic climate standpoint. And as far as defense, not only do we have two oceans on either side, but inland, you got the Rockies in the west, you got the Appalachians in the east. Okay, this is like amazing how this landmass that we call the United States of America is set up for success.
God's green earth. Hey guys, make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe to Just the Guys podcast. But I want to get to one last topic here because you talked about you guys talked about a little bit. Hold on, let me go ahead and get to the next topic real quick because I want to get out of here too. But you guys talked a little bit about being number two. Now this week, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Elon Musk became the world's first trillionaire.
Elon Musk has become the world's first trillionaire. Catapulted by the historic market debut of his rocket company, SpaceX, the tech mogul has officially amassed 13-figure wealth. The number 1 trillion is hard to comprehend. So let's put it in perspective. If you made $100,000 a year and saved every penny, it would take you 10 million years to match that wealth. His wealth will sit just shy of the gross domestic product of Poland, while completely eclipsing the entire annual economic output of Taiwan. If you divide up $1 trillion and distribute it equally to all 8.2 billion people on Earth, every single person on the planet would instantly get nearly $122. So what does he plan on doing with all that cash? Musk says he doesn't plan to spend his $1 trillion fortune solely on himself. He'll instead use it to fund a permanent human settlement on Mars, and is first counting on SpaceX to get us there.
So everyone's talking about Elon Musk, and yes, he increased his net worth in one day, almost over, well over $100 billion, almost $200 billion. But no one's talking about the number 2 guy, right? The guy on the the welding floor, the guy that had shares of SpaceX as a lowly worker. This also came out. Elon, and no one's really talking about this part, but Elon just created 4,400 millionaires in a single day, and 400 of them are now worth over 100 million. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that, man. Cooperation pays, bro.
We knew it was coming. I think the current planetary GDP is what, 75 trillion. At one point the planetary GDP probably was 1 trillion at one point. These things are, we're going to see probably more trillionaires in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe maybe 5 years at at the rate we are going. Obviously, probably a Jeff Bezos or somebody, but and obviously they don't have $1 trillion on cash, right? Valuation is assets and whatever other financial instruments that they may be holding. But this is human nature, man. We've always had fat cats and starving dogs throughout history. So congratulations to Elon Musk.
Now,
And,
could Elon have done this alone?
I'm sorry.
Could Elon have done this alone?
No, of course not. No.
Yeah, but that's why he paid all those people.
That's why he paid the people. Right?
That's what I'm saying. It's like all these people who are shitting on this guy, not for nothing, the first trillionaire could have shitted on everybody. And instead, he made sure that everybody who came along with him, right? Those are all day one employees, by the way.
Yeah.
Just think about that level of retention, 4,400 people, then another, what was that? Like, let's just say here and abouts around 5,000 people made a boatload of money on Elon Musk for just working for him for a couple of years.
Yanni with the $20 super chat. Great show tonight, guys. All of your perspectives were spot on. Have a great weekend. Salute to you. Have a good one.
Yanni, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, he is the absolute representation of he ain't heavy, he's my brother. You ever heard that before, Logic? He ain't heavy, he's my brother. And so we've seen that a lot, man. Steve Jobs carried people, when Apple went on its upward trajectory, So to those liberals out there who were complaining, screw you. You're like, oh man, there's so many homeless people in America. Why are you homeless in America? I mean, why are you homeless in America or starving in America? This is the wealthiest country on the planet, man. Get a job, man.
Listen, what I like about this is his goal with the money. Typically, and people are not obligated to tell you what they're going to do with their money. But I like the fact that his goal is to make our species multiplanetary. That's a quantum leap. I mean, CT, Gimpy, we always talk about these things that are going to elevate us. Now, will it look like Star Trek or will it look like Elysium? You know what I'm saying, Gimpy?
Oh, the odds are it's going to look like Robotech.
I wouldn't mind that, actually. I would take that over Elysium. But I think the goal that he has espoused is definitely worthy, and he has. I mean, look at Taiwan. Come on, Taiwan. What are you doing? Step it up. I mean, you out here, a man has more money than your country, right? I love everything about it. I mean, more power to him. I think also, though, what you're seeing is a lot of jealousy. Like, well, I heard one woman say he should give like every human being some money or something. It's like, for what? So they can blow it? Okay. He built these systems. This guy has reduced launch cost by to put a kilogram of whatever into Earth orbit now costs 95% less than it did before SpaceX. And the last thing I'll say is those employees that he gave that to, they were the ones that were around when the Russians literally laughed him out of the room.
Wow.
When he asked them, could he have some of their rockets to start the company? They laughed him out of the room, told him, little boy, go back to America.
Wow. And to just to add to that part, so shout out to Rodney with the $10 super chat. It was a great show. Keep up the good work, fellas. Appreciate that. That is my cousin out in Kentucky. That's my cousin. Y'all met him. He came to the house. Yep.
Yeah.
Great guy.
But to your point, soldiers, is that the fact that rockets are reusable.
Not only are they reusable, but he can catch them or land them on the ocean, which is moving constantly in 3 dimensions.
Yeah. Imagine every time you took a Southwest flight or American Airlines flight, the plane was disposable, right? And how much air traffic would cost, right? But this guy has now, it's incredible to me because this is an example of the law of success in action, right? Because this guy at the end of the video, she said, "What is your goal?" And his goal, right, is to colonize Mars. He has this chief aim of, I want to colonize Mars. Now, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, all of these are just means to an end to achieve the goal, and the level of cooperation, that he has to have, to make these systems, to make these things work together to achieve that, I think is probably one of the greatest examples, the modern examples of the law of success principles in action. I want to get you guys feedback on that.
Let me ask you a real quick question of the group. I will say, if I wasn't married, I'd step up to go to Mars. It's going to be a one-way trip. Would you do it?
If I wasn't married, go ahead.
To my younger self, I would do it. I would do it.
To my younger self, I would say no, and I'd say no just because of some minor thought behind it.
Captain Buzzkill.
Yeah, Captain Buzzkill. Yeah, but think about it. You would have to find a way to make it so that we can breathe permanently on another planet, inside, outside. If God wanted us to, if God wanted us to fly, He would have given us wings. Okay,
so you don't fly planes? Wait, whoa! So you don't take planes nowhere?
No, but you're missing the point. If God were, if we were meant to fly on our own, God would have given us wings.
Right.
Our lungs are set up the way they are.
Breathe on Mars on our own. God would have put atmosphere there. But hey, if we build self-contained biospheres, we don't need atmosphere.
So we're going to be walking around every day, living inside a giant dome.
Yes.
Look, reason. We've had people. We've had people living in space. To hell with a planet. We've had people living in space for decades now. Okay, in the International Space Station.
Yes, and they recycle their own piss to make water.
They do,
and there's so much stuff that they have to do.
Listen, let me say this. Reason.
Dude, can we get this man a break? Can we just get this man a break?
Let me ask you this, Reason. Let me ask you this. So many centuries ago, people on different continents started looking at the ocean and thinking, I want to cross that. Now, by your logic, God didn't give us gills. Okay. So why have we mastered the surface of the ocean?
For discovery purposes, not to live under the ocean.
No, I said.
Oh my God!
We have mastered.
We get this man a break.
I'll land my plane. We have mastered. Have we not? God. We have mastered the surface of the ocean.
Yes.
Thank you, the Scrapping Beauty.
Have we not?
Say again. Have we mastered that? There are places in the ocean we haven't gotten yet.
The surface
for sheer explanation purposes, like
we're crossing the oceans right now. Okay, in airplanes. There's a woman I'm following who's rowing across the Atlantic right now. Okay. So let's just concede.
I get what you're saying. We can get from one place to another on planes. We can get from one place to another on boats. We can get from one place to another on. Yeah, that's using something else to get to another place in which we are already adept to living.
So we're going to do the same on Mars. We're going to use space suits and pressurized tunnels and
ocean rigs, like deep sea ocean rigs don't exist. Like they don't live out. Literally, we didn't build. Hold on, let me finish. Like seriously, let's get Mr. Brick to the head or Brick to the head here, brother. So here's your reality check for the ocean, surface of the ocean shit. Really simple. We build platforms in the middle of the ocean that they shouldn't exist by your rationale. Because nothing should be able to live there. It's literally the middle of the ocean. Or the Chinese literally pull islands out from the bottom of the ocean to the surface.
That's my
technology that they weren't born with. And now there's
That's
an
my point.
entire Air Force and military base on an island that
That's a good point.
25 years ago did not exist and is completely man-made in the
Okay.
middle of nowhere in the ocean, man.
They're still on this earth. We still have everything that we
Again, we're
have
not. I'm pointing
capable
out
of
the
to live there.
rationale. Never mind. You know what? Just hit me in the head with the brick.
There are workers right now living in the depths of the ocean that do work on all types of underwater platforms.
welders.
That's right, and they live
Underwater
down
welders.
there.
Mhm.
They live down
They
there.
do. They live in hyperbaric for 6 months.
Absolutely,
What
they
are you
do.
talking? Like, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, brother, no. Stop
When
fucking up the
we-
fantasy of living on Mars.
There we
And
go.
not only that, when we ate of the tree, okay, if you want to take it from a religious perspective, when we ate of the tree, we became enlightened. Okay. And so that means that, sure, I can't swim across the Chesapeake Bay, but I can use this to build a boat to get across there. The same way I can build pressurized tunnels under the surface of Mars to live.
Oh, do we get to be mole people on Mars? That's
There are
cool.
people
Yeah,
living.
cool.
There are people
That-
living in the Arctic. We don't have blubber. God didn't give us blubber, wings, gills, but somehow we have mastered all of these environments.
Can we walk outside in one of those places and just inhale and be good?
You can't do that in the Arctic where people live. Your
Right.
lungs will freeze.
Right.
Mhm.
But yet humanity is down there. You can't step outside of one of those hyperbaric chambers at the bottom of the ocean and take a lung full of air. You will die.
No, you'll die
Okay.
instantly. Mhm.
Yet and still, there are people there right now eating dinner and talking in high-pitched voices because of the oxygen under
helium.
pressure. Right.
Are they being paid to be there?
Very
Oh
well.
my god.
Okay,
how
so
did
that's
that
my point.
change? Dude, I
Yeah,
feel the goal
because
posts
it's their
moving.
job. It's their
Wait,
job
wait.
to do it.
Can you feel the goalposts moving,
Yes.
people?
Yeah.
Not at all.
I got
Oh,
it.
hold on,
Not
Running
at all.
down the field.
Yeah.
It's
Tyrone.
100% dangerous. Yes, it is.
All of his.
I just don't like.
hold
I
on,
just
no.
don't like the fact that I could walk. I could open this door right now,
Oh my
walk
God.
out, and not die. I mean,
You
like
wanna know
Write
what?
this
You can
down.
also lay in your bed and never move. and
As
not die.
Mars bitches.
Yeah, I mean, yes, they are getting paid. And that has been the driving force behind most of humanity's pushing out into frontiers that they were heretofore, unfamiliar with. Okay. I can't outrun a cheetah. Okay. But my mind says, hey, build a gun and be able to defend yourself on the Serengeti. By your logic, I need to be able to run 70 miles an hour
Yep.
before I, interact with this dangerous part of the world.
There we go. There we go. All right. So, you going to Mars? So obviously, reason's not going.
Absolutely
CT, you
not.
going to Mars?
I would love to.
I'm with you.
Gippy?
Oh,
I mean, just for the exploration point.
I'm going twice, man.
Yeah. Yeah. What hotel chain you think will build the first hotel on Mars?
Red
Definitely.
Roof Inn.
It'll be your
Red Roof.
Nah, man. It'll be some.
I got you. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yeah. I'm hoping it's a Marriott. Don't want them Hiltons, man.
That was actually funny. Oh fuck.
Yeah, he missed it. He missed it. All right, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. But we're gonna get out of here. But again, we are going through the law of success, and we are on week 5. I've been, this has really been helpful for me on the, just on a brotherhood level. Talking to the guys on a regular basis about these things, and just challenging yourself. And it's really cool what you can do when you really embrace a spirit of cooperation. Embrace a spirit of cooperation. Yeah, cooperatism. Maybe that's a new. All right, but yeah. Again, I've been learning a lot about myself, and I appreciate. Again, every crew needs a Gimpy. You can create the rhyme yourself. Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys And CT, man, I'm so proud of what he's doing on Chaotic Truth Live and the content. Can you tell them what's coming up next a little bit? What you have coming up next, CT?
Just more IRLs, man. More outside live streams. And eventually I want to do something that, like the change my mind, like what Steven Crowder does. So eventually.
So I got to hang out with CT. He came to Baltimore. There's actually your first episode back since you've been.
Yeah.
Golly, man, you've been missing. Do Funny Flu got you, but yeah, man. So I got to hang out with CT for a little bit, man. And this guy has a brilliant way of asking questions. We was at at my birthday party, and we actually went downtown afterwards to the Bygone in Baltimore, and just seeing him interact with people was like it was really cool because he really cares about people and want to understand what people think. And some people are dumb, some people are smart, but I think once they walk away from a conversation with CT, man, they start thinking a little bit, man. Maybe they try to be less of a toaster, maybe, but but it was really cool, man. It was good to see you, brother.
You too, man.
Yeah, man. Now we also have, it's the early vote week, and the election is June 23rd. But we have LT Stone,
Commodore Lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
Right.
He's running for governor, lieutenant governor, running mate of Ed Hale Sr. I thought the interview Ed Hale did with Tori and Uripsy actually was really good. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I actually thought it was very, very informative. But what you got going on this week, man?
Well, I was telling folk that one of the great things about running for statewide office is you get to see your state. And I was in Cecil County yesterday morning, ended the day in Frederick County. And so I'm all over, as we divide and conquer and talk to as many people as possible. I'm going to do a video this week on the reality of data centers. I got a very comprehensive tour of that whole thing in terms of its impact on rural communities. And this is the one thing that I was totally unprepared for. These data centers are small cities. These things are immense in every way. Height, width, depth. They're mind-blowing. Okay. So saw one of those yesterday, and it put things into perspective. And I always ask this question: are we developing technology to serve us, or is this something where we're going to serve and be subordinate to technology?
So make sure you guys check out Soldiers of Finance on YouTube. Check out his channel. Now the Voice of Reason is up and live, man. What you got going on this week?
So what the Voice of Reason is pretty much doing is we are covering criminal cases in a narrative way. A couple of weeks ago, we did Ashley Bocanegra, and last week it was John O'Keefe and Karen Reed. Was supposed to be Chow coming up this week, but of course, what happened with Carmelo Anthony and all of that. So we got to take care of that. And I took my time with that one because I know it's a lot of people that feel specific ways about it. So if you want to check out true crime from a narrative aspect of it, and to look at it in the aspect of the reason behind it, not a whole bunch of blood, guts, and gore, but like the psychology behind why some of this took place. How does a person start as just a 12, 13-year-old and end up right here? Come check out my channel. It's the Voice of Reason, where every crime has a reason to look forward to.
Right now. And then Gimpy, man, what you got going on this week, brother?
Oh, unlike all of you guys, I have a real job. I got to go to work, folks.
Yeah, man.
But no,
Knicks and 5. All right, the game starts in a few minutes, so I hope everybody, just have fun, check it out. But this week, guys, you must have your chief aim. If you didn't know, like the one thing element of cooperation is you got to be aiming for something. And the big question is, can you remove ego to achieve your aim? And guys, I want to hear from you guys. So join the Discord. It's the links in the chat. Let's build a community out of this, and let's keep it going, guys. That does it for us tonight. Remember, only monkeys litter, and we are out. Peace.
Have a good one, guys. Peace.
Later.